Soundstripe.
Hello and welcome to In Your Business, the one-stop shop for insightful conversations on relationships and empowerment. Today's topic will be exploring how feminism intersects with education and influences relationships. We have a guest today. This is Abby. She's an education major and a passionate feminist known for her advocacy in relationship building, both personally and professionally. Abby and I were roommates our first year here at college. We had a terrible roommate, and we really bonded over that. And now it's been years, and we've been best friends ever since, really. So really, Abby, do you want to give us a little short fun fact about you today?
Short fun fact?
Yeah.
I think my best fun fact is that I was born on my mom's birthday. We've shared a birthday
I
ever
didn't
since.
know that. No, you're the
Well, fun
best
fact.
gift.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, what? That's crazy. I didn't know that. That'd be cool if you shared a birthday with one of your sisters. The drama.
Really bad.
Oh no. But guys, so today we're gonna be really defining feminism in relationships and in education. That's our core focus today. So Abby, I'm gonna have you share what your definition of feminism is and how they influence your relationships and your professional life.
Wow. Well, I think my definition of feminism is respect, to put it short.
It's a good start.
Right? No matter what you're passionate about as a woman, that it's who you are, and if you want to define it as if you want to define yourself as a woman, go ahead. And if you want to build outside of what it means to be a woman, go ahead. Like, respect whatever decision you as a woman want to make. Don't let anyone stop you from doing what you want to do, from following your passions, following your career goals, especially women. But
So it's less about being a woman and more about being yourself.
being yourself and respecting other women's decisions, your own decisions, respecting women and what they do.
I love that.
Seeing them as humans too. I know, especially, I've seen it a lot throughout education, that they're people who are acted upon, not people who are active.
Right. That's really powerful. I think that you staying in an environment where you have to fight to reflect who you are is just really a reflection of how strong you are as a person. So I really respect that about you. Again, like, how do you think that influences your everyday relationships, like your family, your partner, not so much your coworkers, but more like on a personal level, turn inward?
How feminism means in my personal relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I grew up in a household full of girls. My poor dad.
No, not your poor dad.
You're right, not my poor dad. He's beyond blessed to be in a house full of girls. He should definitely know what it means to respect women.
Right.
And I guess within my own relations, respecting them. Sometimes it's really hard to respect my sisters, but they're powerful and strong women too. I respect them in so many ways. They've done so many better things than I have been able to do in the past. But I'm so proud of them, really. So in that way, it's respecting them for who they are and empowering them, encouraging them, especially as their older sister. I wish I could express that more towards them so they feel more special, important, that they can go beyond and they have more skills than they are. So
That's sweet.
same with my mom. She wasn't able to work when she first got here, and so she's just been a stay-at-home mom for as long as I can remember, until she was able to start working legally. So thank goodness that she's been able to do what she wants to do to feel like useful. And I know she's had a hard time raising 3 girls and just not being able to do much other than that. But I think that's a really important part too of being a woman, is that being a mom, that's who we can become if we choose to. Respect that decision as well, however one wants to go about it. But I respect my mom a lot for being one of the best moms I've ever seen, and I wish she knew that.
Couldn't put it better myself. As someone who's grown up with no sisters and just brothers, it's quite a different dynamic for me, because I feel like I've had to fight for my self-identity rather than embrace it with the people around me. which is a separate and equal challenge because no one's ever stealing my shoes. No one's ever fighting to get in the bathroom quite at the same level. So,
Yeah.
which not to put us in a box, but
no, but it's different challenges of being women.
Yeah.
And especially when you have different people around you, whether you have women or not around you.
Right.
You grow up differently as a woman.
No, you definitely do. And I think that my biggest strength growing up around two younger brothers is that it definitely made my skin a little thicker. I'm quite a sensitive individual, so I think that was necessary, especially going into business school, to be surrounded by just men all the time, which is not a good or bad thing, it's just different. To be able to bond with men on a platonic and like friendship level, that's really a skill that you can't workshop very well later in life. As, I don't know, early 20s, late teens, it's hard to do, especially if you're attracted to men. But I feel like going into life with two younger brothers that taught me all the time has really workshopped resilience and patience and understanding in me. And of course, I love them, and I'm glad that they can turn to me when they have questions about the inner workings of womanhood. I appreciate that they feel comfortable turning to me.
They respect you as a woman too.
They've grown to respect me.
It's a process.
Yes.
Especially as siblings.
I think so too. We're pretty close in age. There's only a few years in between us, so I feel like that has created an environment where it is easier to relate to each other. Like, we're not too far. Like, when we talk about movies and shows, there's not too much of a gap in what we like.
I think our siblings are the same age.
They are. We have an exact lineup, so really we can pair them off. But yeah, so very different, very equally challenging for self-identity. Can you share an experience on how your beliefs in just the woman's right to choose has affected your relationships? It can be in any relationship, just personal, professional, in your home.
I think it'd have to be within the profession that I'm in, and I want to be a teacher, and that's
Right.
No, there's a lot of women. I have to say, there's only 2 guys in every single one of my classes. So props to them. We need some male teachers too. But I think in that we all get to choose to be a teacher. Everyone in my class gets to choose to be a teacher, even though it's not a really high-paying job. And today, women are encouraged to go after big things now. Like we can be top dogs too. And I feel like teachers have not been viewed as top dogs in that same way because of the pay grade, I feel, just because we're paid so low, which I know a lot of people want to fix that, and please. But I choose to go into that not just for myself, but for the children, for other little girls in those classes, to empower them to be bigger and greater too. And so I think that's where I've seen more of a choice. I know so many powerful women, including yourself, who are going after really big things, and I respect you guys so much for it. I'm so proud of you guys for doing that, and I feel like sometimes I don't feel like I made a good choice by being a teacher. Like, I'm not as empowered to be bigger and greater, but I just think of choosing to do this not for myself, but for the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe someone to guide them in their childhood.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of that. My mom used to be a teacher. She was my kindergarten teacher. Shout out to Mrs. Clark if you're watching. She was her assistant, but I think that is probably one of the most important jobs in the entire world, is being a teacher, especially to the younger ones, even though they're a little harder to work with. And you're just literally shaping their brain.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility.
Sounds
It's huge. And I feel the weight of it, and being able to choose that.
Yeah.
Choosing not such a good salary, choosing terrible work conditions, choosing no support whatsoever from the school district or even the federal government who's supposed to fund us, right? Choosing to, regardless of all those challenges, being there for those kids.
Yeah, and you going in knowing all of those not ideal things that will inevitably happen. and you still choose that is amazing. But I hope you don't stay in a environment that will limit your growth completely. I hope you can go in expecting the worst, but also anticipating improvement.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
I really hope so.
I want to be better every single year.
And I feel like you being around primarily women definitely strengthens that bond. Like, oh, we're in this together, ladies. Like,
Yes.
Do you feel that way?
Oh yeah, I especially see it in the school office that I work at. I'm a clerical aide there, so I get to work and see the principal and the vice principal and the secretary. Those are some really, I respect so much out of them. They face so many challenges with these children, and not only them, but their parents too. They're the ones who are always talking to them and trying to explain that we're trying to help your children here. We're not against you, and just so many conflicts beyond that I could possibly imagine. They face it so well. And as they're leaders, they really are. And not only do they have to deal with the kids, but other teachers too. I realize how difficult some teachers could be, and so I'm learning like, okay, that's not what I should do. This is what they're looking for.
That's a super unique opportunity, and I think that will really help you to be so hands-on and to kind of be in everyone's business.
They literally are.
And to just to kind of self-identify, oh, I want to be with that teacher. I want to take what this teacher does and implement that in my own classroom one day. That's super helpful, because going in it with no knowledge of anything, all you have is a degree in your hand and a dream, that's great, and a lot of people do that, and I love that. But going in with experience with kids, experience with staff, experience with just the environment,
the administrator, they battle things every day. Respect.
I respect that so much. But I feel that we're in a college right now. We're in the walls of our campus, and I feel like when I was touring campuses forever ago and till now, there are significantly more women on campus than there have ever been, and that's awesome. And I feel like our generation especially is leaning so heavily into their own self-improvement and education, especially women. I think that it's not an expectation in society historically to have a large portfolio of education as a woman, but now it's a choice that a lot of women are making, and I'm so for that. And on this campus in particularly, they really highlight the achievements of women, and a lot of our staff is women. A lot of the advisors and just people in power are women, and that is fantastic, and it's not something that has been common, and I can really appreciate that. Just women choosing to be educated, choosing to better themselves for themselves, and not settling for less than they deserve. And even though sometimes there are two wolves inside me, okay? One of them's like, be a girl boss, make $1 million, have 3 degrees. And one of them's like, quit, be a housewife, be hot at home, do nothing else. And both of them are equally
respect both of those
awesome wolves. But I feel like that's a huge thing, just struggling with like gender norms, because I feel like we're the first generation to really challenge them on a huge scale. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah,
how do you feel?
Oh yeah, women have, like I said before, they've always been acted upon in the past. They've just been the housewife or the homemaker or someone who's there to support the man in their relationship in that sense, right? And now we have the choice to not. We don't have to stay at home. We don't have to just be a wife. We can do so much more. The options are more acceptable in society. Like if you see a working mom, totally acceptable. There's so many challenges in it that I feel like should be supported. Because it's a big job being a mom and then working too. Those are 2 huge jobs, and you have to balance that.
Bouncing off of that, I feel like the generation before us, our mothers, was the first generation to be afforded opportunities like working big girl jobs,
Yeah.
like corporate,
Mm-hmm.
hospital management, etc. Like a woman couldn't own her own bank account until my grandma's generation. That's only 2 ago, guys.
Two
So
generations
I
ago.
feel like it's taken her generation. Oh, I have financial freedom over myself. Oh, I can work the job I want, and now it's I can choose. That's us. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We don't have to
We-
depend on anyone else for
We
that.
have not come that far, but we will push it further. We are a feisty little generation, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I feel now how I feel about gender roles is I always want to have the option to be supported while I have children if I
Oh,
so
yeah.
choose. I don't feel like it should be expected of me to work a full-time job and then also have a full-time job of raising children and being a mother and doing the housework and keeping everything clean and doing the no. That's gonna have to be no for me, because our mother's generation, that's what was happening, is they were being the top dog at work, but they were also coming home and being the top dog at home. That's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
It's gonna have to be no for me, and that's hard because unfortunately the men of today have seen their mothers do that and be okay and haven't quite
for their family too.
yeah, and I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying that's a common mindset, and it's hard to explain individuality to a man in his 20s sometimes.
They're still just trying to figure themselves out
And-
too. As we all are in our 20s.
As we all are,
Let's be honest.
but I feel like we're as women just a couple years ahead. And developmentally,
Yeah.
scientifically,
we are
biologically,
no hate. for
no
that.
hate
It's
ever.
just the facts.
Never.
I've seen it.
Not ever.
I'm studying human development too. I'm seeing it throughout. Even when we were kids, women were
Right.
always ahead. That's why sometimes we were the tallest ones in our class and the boys were still short.
Right.
They still showed up like trees.
Oh my gosh, when I was in the 2nd grade, I was the second shortest in my class, but there was this little tiny boy named Davis. Davis, if you went to Challenger in Utah somewhere, shout out to you. You always made me feel like a girl boss.
Yes.
But yeah, I just always feel like highlight woman choice always should go together. In every situation, like you don't have rights over my life, my body, my mind, my dreams, my freedoms,
We're
none of
humans
it.
too. Of course, we should have the choice. To
Duh.
do it all.
But it's not always explained or highlighted as a common thing, unfortunately. So I'm just making myself abundantly clear that if you have a woman in your life that you love and you would put her into a position where she did not have a choice over her dreams, over her bodily autonomy, over her life, just let's take a step back and focus. Do you actually like her though?
I just don't think that's respecting her as a human.
It's not, and I feel like respect and love get mixed up a lot, because you can respect a hell out of someone and not love them, and you can love someone and not respect them.
They should work together. Really respect them.
And that's what you should look for in a partner. Keyword partner. Guess what partner entails?
Tell me, please.
Together. Equal.
Yep.
That's why I am so careful in choosing wording for my romantic interest or
Oh yeah.
partner in life. I never
Not one above the other.
nope.
You're a team.
Like when I am in a romantic relationship, I look for someone who will meet me wherever I am, and I will do the same. Match my freak if you would. And I'm a huge believer in partnership. I just want to really emphasize that
Oh
word
yeah,
today.
you're a team, and even no matter what stage of your relationship you're in, if you're just starting to date, if you have a long time dating, if you're engaged, married, way into it, even as parents, you are a team.
Especially as parents.
Especially as parents. If your relationship's not good, that kid's relationship's not good. And I see that a lot in the education field.
Right.
Parents need to be so involved in that, and you need to be a team partner.
Right. I feel, as someone who's been in a couple serious relationships, it is so important to be an individual first before you are someone's partner. And that's overlooked a lot. And it's romanticized to just be in a relationship, settle, and as long as you're with someone, you're complete. Even though if it's in shambles and you look good on Instagram, doesn't matter. That's not true. And I
shouldn't
think
be where you get your identity.
no,
It should not be where you get your identity at all. That's coming from you. And if they respect and love you, they want you to find your identity as yourself. But they're there to support you, to love you, to
Exactly.
satisfy what you need as a human, and vice versa.
Exactly. And I feel that, again, our generation is really breaking that down. And people are confused when a woman is in her 30s and alone and thriving. They're like, wait.
You don't need a man?
Wait.
You can take care of
Guys.
yourself? What?
Yeah, and I feel like it's because men don't understand how they could be happy alone because men aren't happy alone a lot of the time. And
Which I think also needs to be a light shined on as well.
what does?
That they need to understand how it is to be happy alone too.
Yeah, which I think chemically it's a little different. I'm not going to quote anything because I don't know the stats exactly, but the chemicals released when a woman's is in love are so different than a man's, and there's just not a lot of overlap unless you have such involvement in the other person's life. Like, they know your order at your favorite coffee shop. They think about you when they see a cute dog. Like, wholesome little things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not thinking those and you're just like work mode, driving, tumbleweeds, then when you see them, you're like, oh my gosh, I like them a lot. That might be normal. I don't know. That's just not what I want. I require absolute involvement and devotion.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to settle for anything else in life, personally.
If I'm not thinking about me 24/7, then what am I doing?
Then what are you doing? No, I
a
understand life is busy
Mm-hmm.
and it gets busy and things get forgotten, and
Yeah, but because you respect that person,
Yeah.
you involve them in that too.
and
And I'm sure since they respect and love you too, they want to be involved in it. Like, hey, how can I help?
exactly.
How can I support you? I see that you're going through, you being super busy and it's a toll on you. How can I help relieve that for you? Even if it's just
It's
venting.
not that hard.
Yeah, all we want is
Just
to listen to.
communicate.
All we want is to vent too. We just want to let it all
Yeah.
out.
And I feel
Someone
like
to listen.
that changes a lot from ages like 22 to 25 in men, where something like cooks their brain. That would be what is cooking, and they begin to look more outward.
Mm-hmm.
Not that men don't have the capacity to look outward. I've seen
No, of
it
course not.
every single day. Just, I don't know. Think about your partner and act like it, please. Thank you. Going back to education, I think that we touched on this. You are a pivotal role in just society in general, but in education, how do you feel about just creating an environment for your students that's inclusive and they feel safe? What does that mean to you?
To me, I have to think a lot about their home life when it comes to that, where they're coming from,
Right.
what kind of support they're getting from a home. It's a really important part of who they are.
Right.
Because even though they spend most of their day with me, and I think that's what a huge amount of the responsibility I feel. It's like, I'm going to spend a lot of time with them. I'm here to help build who they are, what they want to be, make them feel safe in their classroom. And this little side note, I really want to work with kids who come from low-income places, Title I schools, mainly because of that. I want to make sure that they have an environment where they feel safe, they feel noticed, they feel special, even if they don't get that at home. Because those kids, they need that support to feel included. They need the attention.
Right.
And they need the positive reinforcement in that. And if they're not getting that at home, I want to be sure I can create that in their classroom, in their school. And so then they'll feel safe to learn. Because education is super important, I think. No matter how far in education you go, you want to go get your PhD? Awesome. Super respect. If you make it to graduate high school and you start working hard, also super respect.
Right.
But being able to create that environment where they feel safe enough to be who they are so that they can express where they need help with. And like, I'm struggling in math, I'm going to support you. I'm going to make you feel safe with math, something a lot of kids struggle with.
Right.
So creating that inclusive classroom where they feel safe is honestly the foundation of how they feel about learning.
Absolutely. To echo you, people can't feel safe and people can't retain new information when their human needs are not met.
When they're stressed.
Yeah, if
there's
you
stress.
are in fight or flight, how are you gonna focus on fractions? Like,
Exactly.
it's not gonna happen. So I love that, and Abby's one of the most nurturing human beings I've ever met in my life. So this is like perfect for her. And there's not been one point where I've hated on her for being an education major where she has even swayed her opinion. So props to you, and I apologize. So
I understand.
we're just so different in just about every way, and we just.
But we respect each other for that.
Oh, and I love that. So cool. But so let me just look at these for a moment. Okay, so we're gonna have a fun little activity, and I let her in on this beforehand, guys. Started with the magic, but we're doing a playlist review because to me, music has such a reflection of who you are as a human being. Like if you look at my music from 2015 to now, you can see the growth happen. You can see it happen in front of your eyes.
But each point in that reflects how you were at that point.
Abby, I'm gonna have you go first. Any playlist that just feels right or important to you. It could be silly, it could be serious, whatever feels right to you. Why is it important to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my Spotify.
Okay.
And I remember, I think I got this when I was like in 7th, going into 8th grade or something, because the first playlist I ever created was from 2018.
Nice.
And I've done that ever since. I've made a playlist from each year, mainly because of that, to like, if I go back, I'll see what music taste I had that year. Who was I? And I remember those memories associated when I was listening to that kind of music.
You're so cute for that.
Yeah, so I have a playlist for every year. I have a playlist for other kinds of things, study music, worship music, gym music, classics.
Can I pick one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you the lore. Okay.
Ooh,
I'm gonna ask about 2022.
2020. Oh.
The year that we met, in fact.
I'm glad to say that's one of my favorite years.
Okay, guys, here's the album cover. So cutie. I can remember most of these songs being blared through the wall we shared every morning.
I cannot shower without music. I'm sorry.
Which, that was some fond memories for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Abby's getting ready. I should get ready.
You never told me if I was too loud or not, and now
it was part of my routine at that point. No, because I would open Starbucks a lot of days, so I would be at work most of the days. But the days I didn't work, that was kind of get at it. Some notable mentions are every single song by the Wallows ever.
Still my favorite.
I'm trying to find one that I particularly remember. A Lover's Rock was a big one. Do Not Wait by the Walls was a big one I remembered. And a couple Harry Styles songs.
That was interesting too.
Hey, there's so much in here.
I never dove too much into Harry Styles, but I liked his
You had a couple. I think I sprinkled some into your life because I was really into Harry Styles that year. Harry's House came out in 2022, I believe, and that was huge for me. I'm just looking myself up on Abby's Spotify because my phone's actively recording right now. I'm huge on creating blends with people, so I have countless blends with all the important people in my life, including Abby.
But where you connect to music-wise.
No, and I love that as a huge conversation starter. But a big mention for me. Okay, it's called Time is Moving So Fast, and it's a picture of me. There it is, at a wedding, my torso. And it's just music that makes me, you know, when you're really sad and you just want to listen to some sad music and feel through it and just get out of it.
Yeah.
That's what this is. There's like Night Rider by Joji, Bug Collector by Haley Hendrix, so many. Glow by Omar Apollo, Tijana Blue by Cigarettes After Sex. Man,
it enhances your feelings.
It does, and I feel like as someone, here you go, babe. As someone who is deep feeling and not overly, just sensitive, I find it better to feel through things pretty fast rather than sit in them like a little kiddie pool and just have them around me all the time.
You should definitely feel your feelings.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that I haven't always done, and music has really been an outlet for me to feel through my feelings. And I write my own music sometimes, and
She's really good.
thank you, and it helps me feel through them more. So it's a tool.
It is a tool.
And
It's an expressive tool.
yeah, sometimes we'll be in the gym together and we'll play our gym music together, and it's really cute. And that's also a huge thing. That pumps you up. That gets you feeling.
It affects your mood.
It does, 100%.
It really does.
That's why it's so important to choose podcasts, media, music that really shapes your mood at the moment. Listen to yourself. Be
Because women,
reflective.
we feel our feelings a lot more.
Yeah, and especially like if you know yourself and you know you're a sensitive human being and you know you like to feel through things, don't just like put a wall up and say, well, I'll get out later. Just don't do that. I know it's easy to say and plus easy to do, but I invite you to maybe look through your playlist. Say, is this helping me grow as a human being? Is it having me up at the gym? Is it making me feel good about myself? Is it
Reflects
helping
on how you're feeling right now. Maybe you can understand how you're
Maybe
feeling.
make a playlist today. Invite a sticker that
That's
way.
your
We'll help
homework.
you out. Yeah. But okay, so we talked about you. We talked about you working around a lot of women, how that strengthens your bond with them, and how selfless you are to be an educator. Bless your heart. I think it's important to acknowledge women in other places in the workspace professionally and not use them as a grip to get up, to push them down. Because I feel like sometimes, at least as a woman in business, it's brutal out there. Like sometimes,
For some reason, we're competing against each other.
yeah,
We put ourselves in that position.
I know. Like there can only be one woman in the office, and she's like the woman. I'm like, that's not exactly how it works. So don't put women down. Period.
Respect women.
That's really what it comes down to. But
And women yourself, even.
exactly, I feel like it all comes down to, hey girl, like be a girl's girl.
Girls.
If you see another woman struggling at your work, in the girls' bathroom, bonds happen there. Like at a bar,
You can't go
if
in
you're in
alone.
if you're in the bathroom, like I've never formed such connections.
I think it's the only
Like-
time I get girls' Instagrams.
If you guys, if you're watching and you're a dude and you're wondering what goes on in the bathroom, networking. It's always a conference in there. But just respect the women around you because they're going through it too. They're going through the exact same challenges and stereotypes that you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be okay. Don't put them down. Just raise yourself up. Okay? Use a playlist for it. So I just want to communicate to you to just surround yourself with good things. Do good things for yourself. I'm a huge advocate for getting out there, getting uncomfortable. The why not mentality.
Yeah. Why not just do that?
Why not? Am I qualified to do it? Nope. Why not?
But what's stopping you?
And there are, of course, limitations to that. Like, don't jump off a cliff if it's too high. Or don't jump out of an airplane without a parachute. But I trust you guys to make that decision for yourself. But, like, recently I submitted my art to an art contest. Never used digital art in my life. And I won that shit.
She won.
Okay?
She's a Viva Mars KC library.
So, and I'm entering a cybersecurity networking conference. Do I know anything about cybersecurity? Nope.
She's gonna learn.
I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna do it anyway. So just get out there, do something uncomfortable, out of your comfort zone, and you will
That's how you
absolutely
grow.
Just
You gotta challenge yourself.
get out there and grow, girl. Or dude, go grow, man. Is that better?
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us on In Your Business, your one-stop shop for world events, professionalism, and relationships. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify at In Your Business NV. Thank you so much for joining us, and keep your business in the know.